Get ready because it's time to do the twister.
You know, I sense more than just hot air coming out of this episode.
And you would be right. We've got a whole hour coming up solely about the power of tornadoes. And to do this episode, we're bringing in two amazing experts, Sean Casey and Reed Timmer, AKA the Storm Chasers, to help us.
Ah, you mean those guys that have those cars they've specially reinforced and they drive them right into the middle of tornadoes?
Exactly.
Take a look now at these clouds as they are forming in the distance.
When a tornado is forecast,
Can you swing around and get that, please?
the sane response is to either leave town or at least duck into a ditch.
Oh my God.
But Storm Chasers Reed Timmer
Yeah, tornado touchdown. There it is. Here it comes.
and Sean Casey
Here it comes right at us.
are anything but sane.
Holy.
Instead, these maverick meteorologists lay their lives on the line for storm science.
I wish they had the rain.
All the while, they're supposedly fully protected by their souped-up SUVs.
All right, we gotta get out of here.
Or are they?
I'm bleeding. Yeah, my eyes are bleeding.
What's the plan?
Well, the Storm Chasers want us to test their tornado-proof vehicles under tornado-like conditions.
Don't they do that all the time?
They drive near tornadoes all the time, it's true, but this season specifically, they're expecting to encounter higher winds than they've ever found before, and they want us to help them determine just how tornado-proof their vehicles really are.
Can we break them?
No one has yet told me that we can't.
Well, if first impressions are anything to go by, this one looks kind of unbreakable.
This is a Tornado Intercept Vehicle, or TIV for short. Specifically, this is the TIV-2.
It's built on a modified truck chassis and it has 10,000 pounds of composite armor.
Its 2¼ inch thick skin is composed of layers of aluminum, Kevlar, aluminum, steel, rubber, polycarbonate, rubber, and aluminum.
Its windows are made of about an inch of glass and polycarbonate.
In addition to its regular armor, it's also got 4 hydraulic panels, which can be lowered all the way to the ground to prevent high-speed winds from getting underneath the vehicle and creating lift.
It has a couple of 40-inch long spikes that anchor it to the ground.
And it all adds up to the state-of-the-art in tornado preparedness and research.
And to top all that, today it comes complete with two experts par excellence. The TIV-2's owner, Sean Casey, and the Dominator's Reed Timmer. But believe it or not, the Storm Chasers are worried that both their cars' tank-like traits aren't enough.
Nice ride. What can we do for you?
Well, tornado season's coming up really soon, and it's an El Nino year, so we expect some of the strongest tornadoes on record.
Where do we come in?
Well, this vehicle has withstood winds up to 145 miles per hour, but we'd like to know what the outer limits are.
So can you guys make us a tornado to test both of our vehicles?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Well, the MythBusters sure know how to brew up a storm. After all, they've built a perilous pea shooter.
It's pretty serious.
They've survived a round of man versus fan.
I'm okay, but my suit's starting to come apart.
And they joked around with Hollywood jets.
That's a hot car.
But to best simulate a full-on twister when it's not storm chasing season, there's only one place to go.
I can't believe they let us back after tearing up their runway.
We're the MythBusters. You can't expect us to show up without something getting destroyed.
Kalitta Air's 747 in deepest snowy Michigan is the perfect tool to test if the Storm Chaser chariots are really tornado-proof. And here's how.
When it comes to making tornadoes, there's really not a whole lot out there that has enough power to do the job.
This is our tornado. Oh, it may look like a 747 to you, but to us, it's the perfect experimental platform.
All we got to do is push on this lever.
And this engine spins up, putting out 45,150 pounds of thrust.
And out comes a tornado.
Simple, really. And what's more, it comes with the Storm Chaser's seal of approval.
There are 3 parts to the winds inside a tornado. The rotational, those intense updraft, and just the pure raw wind speed. And for our vehicles, it's that raw wind speed that we're most interested in. And that's why a 747 engine is the perfect tornado simulator.
The 747 with its massive thrust is the perfect storm for this experiment. It'll unleash its tornado-like power directly onto the Storm Chaser's chariots to see if they can hold firm or flip out. But first up for this simulator is some data collection.
This first run with the engines is all about data gathering. What kind of wind speeds can we expect? And that's where this device comes in. These gauges are wind speed indicators from airplanes, and they're connected to a pair of pitot tubes that are also normally bolted to airplanes, like the one behind me. When we turn on the one behind me, these pitot tubes connected to the wind speed indicators monitored by the camera are going to tell us precisely what wind speeds we're getting from that engine at 4 feet off the ground and at 4 inches off the ground. At 140 feet from the engine and 190 feet from the engine.
Once the guys know the wind speed at certain distances from the engine, they can put the Storm Chaser vehicles in place with a degree of predictability.
You guys ready? It's time for some data collection.
Let's see what kind of wind speeds these things can produce.
All right. Okay, let's fire up the engines.
The pilot puts the pedal to the metal. The noise goes through the roof, and the 45,000 pounds of thrust does the business.
I have to say, that was remarkable. I mean, I've been on airliners before, on 747s, but to be behind one of those jet engines when it's going full bore, magnificent.
At 140 feet, the wind speed measured 200 miles an hour. At 190 feet, it was 130. Now the guys want to run their tests at 160 and 250 miles per hour, which translates to 175 and 125 feet behind the engine. So, bring it on. But the MythBusters aren't going to unleash the beast on the Chaser's vehicles just yet.
I'm standing 175 feet from the engine of this airplane, which right here will give us 160 miles per hour of tornado force winds.
Instead, they're starting with a regular car to see how that can weather the weather.
So Reed, right about here, it's going to be going 160 miles an hour when they fire that jet up. Can you put that in context, what that means?
Yeah, that's about a mid-range EF3 tornado for us, and that's the enhanced Fujita scale, and that's a strong tornado, and it would cause serious damage to a house, likely lifting the roof off.
Let's see what it does to the car.
And with the team relocated to the runway, it's all systems go.
This is what we call a control, or lack thereof. All right, let's fire up those engines.
Okay, turn to number 3.
The pilot flips the switch marked Unleash Hell. And a couple of seconds later, that's exactly what happens. The car is quite literally a pushover. And that's got Sean a little torn.
Okay, Sean. I think I'm just gonna take my vehicle now and go home, all right?
Actually, Sean, sorry, buddy, but it's too late to back out now.
Our fake tornado blew the car about 50 feet, and it blew the hood off the car, which is now about a quarter mile away from where it started. Now, if you'd been in that car, you would have survived, but the brown pants factor, sky high.
All right, so 160 miles an hour, blew that car's hood right off and moved it 50 feet. You guys ready to put the TIV-2 and the Dominator to the test?
Definitely.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Undeterred by test one, it's full steam ahead.
All right, Sean, bring in the TIV-2. Watching the TIV-2 come towards here, I feel like I'm living out my fantasy of being in a post-apocalyptic thriller film.
But the TIV-2 is just part of the Storm Chaser arsenal.
Beautiful.
Reed's weapon of choice is the Dominator.
So this is the Dominator. Tell me about it.
It has bomb-proof coating atop 16-gauge steel, polycarbonate windows, and hydraulics that allow the vehicle to drop to the ground so no wind can get underneath.
So what's the top wind speed it's been in?
We measured 155.2 miles per hour in a tornado in Wyoming last year.
Well, we're going to do it at 160. What do you think?
I think it could definitely handle it.
Both Reed and Sean are confident there'll be no carnage. And when their awesome autos initiate their stormproof features, you can see why.
One plane, 2 engines, and 2 tornado-proof cars being exposed to 160 miles per hour of tornado-force winds. Let's see how they're gonna do.
Okay, well, let's do it.
All right, fire up those engines. Come on, baby. Oh, stick in there. Oh dear, here we go. Okay, baby, hold in there. Be brave. Stiff upper lip.
Remember, they've chosen 160 miles per hour because it's faster than the fastest wind speed either car has ever endured. At first, it seems like it's plain sailing, but then... The TIV's door gets ripped open. But luckily for Sean, nothing else moves a micron.
That would have been a wild ride. Safety, that was awesome. We made it.
So it's job done. Other than a flawed door, the vehicle's held firm.
I think the test went very well, except for one thing. I forgot to lock the driver's side door. So something to definitely remember in the future.
The Dominator handled the 160 mile per hour wind like a champ, and that's the strongest one we've ever experienced with this vehicle. It was totally fine, didn't even budge.
But remember, you're watching MythBusters, and the fat lady's not even close.
Well, they survived 160.
Yeah, they did, but that's not all we're gonna give them, are we?
No.
Let's ramp it up.
With tornado season approaching, the Storm Chasers have asked the MythBusters to find out if their souped-up SUVs are really tornado-proof.
Fire up those engines.
And because they survived a snowy test one, it's time to ramp things up.
These vehicles were purpose-built to be able to withstand tornadoes. But so far, they've only seen about half what one can put out. This time, we're going to dial it all the way up to 250-mile-an-hour winds, which is the equivalent of a EF5 tornado, the highest rating there is. That kind of wind will strip a house clean off right down to its foundation, and we're going to see what it does to this car.
It's such a fearsome wind speed that the guys are doing a trial run with a regular car first.
What's gonna happen? Well, this car's gonna spin end over end. What's gonna happen is the last thing that's ever gonna happen to this car. It's gonna blow away down the field. All right, let's do it.
Okay, regular car, 250 miles an hour. Fire it up.
From zero to hero, the jet soon reaches full throttle, whereupon the car tumbles like a toy.
That was great.
It's a case of now you see it, now you don't. Since just 2 seconds after takeoff, the car is 250 feet away.
Oh, it picked that car right up and took it quite a ways.
It did. You think your cars will fare a little better?
Definitely.
You ready to put him in the position?
Certainly.
Let's do it.
Drive into those winds, that's like an EF5. But that's what the big guy wants, so let's let it rip.
But as their cars are secured in the full-on firing line, the Storm Chaser's mojo goes AWOL.
250 miles per hour is insanely fast. I'm hoping the Dominator will be okay because this is my baby.
Yeah, the final test where this vehicle encounters 250 mile per hour wind, this has never happened to this vehicle before. And of course, something you've spent your life working on, that being damaged in front of you, in front of everybody, it's horrifying.
Sean's right. This could be horrific. After all, this is MythBusters.
Gentlemen, it's the moment of truth. You ready?
As I'll ever be.
All right, let's fire it up.
Sean, did you lock the door this time?
Check.
Once again, the source of the force is fired up, and a moment later, a 250 mile per hour wind storms through. At first, the vehicles hold firm. The TIV with its anchor points barely moves, but then suddenly, the Dominator starts to lose its footing. It slides in the Force 5.
Oh my God!
But thanks to its lowered chassis, the wind can't get underneath it to lift it up or topple it over. It, too, survives.
Thank you for not destroying
It's okay.
vehicle.
Beautiful!
Good job, good job.
Well, that's great. Even though it went sideways, it stayed firmly on the ground. It never got under it.
Yeah, I think there was always some downward force then, which is good. That was a great test. All right.
Sure was. The high speed shows the strain both vehicles were under. And although one did move, this 250 mile per hour test was clearly survivable. And that's what counts.
The TIV pretty much sat there like a rock. It didn't slide, it didn't vibrate, it didn't budge an inch. The Dominator, on the other hand, started to move around from the very get-go, and eventually it came broadside to the wind and really started to pick up speed. But it never lost its balance, it never lost its stance. The bottom line is, with both of these vehicles and that kind of wind, you would have been safe.
To double check, the Storm Chasers go in for a closer look.
Thank God, it's okay.
Despite its wild slide, Reed's once over reveals the Dominator only suffered a bent license plate. But it's the TIV that really testifies to the test's power.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah, they're Boeing. The hydraulic piston, that anchor that goes in the ground, it's bent. Force of that wind actually bent something that was rated to 9,500 pounds. Wow.
In the fury of the Force 5, the TIV's anchor points bent under pressure. But even so, the occupants would have survived. And that means it's mission accomplished for the MythBusters. The Storm Chaser chariots are indeed tornado-proof.
The TIV handled 250 mile per hour winds, and now I feel totally confident about this coming tornado season.
Who thinks of this stuff?
The Storm Chaser vehicle survived a 747's most powerful tornado.
Thank you for not destroying
It's okay.
my vehicle.
And that means that both cars can get the MythBusters seal of approval. But Adam and Jamie are the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, gentlemen, I officially pronounce your vehicles both MythBusters tested to 250 miles per hour.
Nice.
Well, we know that these cars are safe in a tornado, but what if you're not in the car?
Well, you're out of luck.
Big problems.
You know, I think we may be able to come up with a solution for you on that front.
That'd be quite a challenge. Give us a few days and we'll see what we can come up with.
When a tornado hits, being in a MythBusters-approved armored vehicle is one thing. But if you're outside with nowhere to run or hide, then surely you're toast. Well, not if the MythBusters can somehow build a personal tornado protection device.
If Adam and Jamie want to build us something, this is what it's got to do. It has to be portable, it has to protect us from flying debris, and have winds of at least EF3 intensity, which is stronger than 135 miles per hour.
Possible? Or a storm in a teacup? Well, back at M5, it's the calm before the storm, as the guys nut out the problem, starting with Adam.
All right, let me walk you through this. As far as I'm thinking it through. I think this personal protection device has to do 3 things. It has to keep you from blowing away, because that would hurt and suck. It has to protect you from flying debris, because that would hurt and suck. And it has to adapt very quickly to changing wind directions. One of the most, I think, nefarious things that happens in a tornado. And this is my solution. It's basically some kind of armored bowl. I'm thinking that shape is ideal for allowing the wind to slip over it, a low coefficient of drag on the ground. But that's not enough. I'm also thinking a wing shape on top, pushing the person and his personal protection device into the ground, keeping him where he is. That's the theory, at least. It's time to prototype.
Adam's got 2 builds to contend with. First, his prototype, and then a wind tunnel, which, courtesy of 4 leaf blowers, should provide a decent draft to run the tests in. And thanks to the wonders of editing, both are ready just about now.
So I put together a whole collection of funnels, cones, and bowls, both with and without downforce wings, and I'm going to place each one of these in my simulated tornado's path and see which one locks itself best to the ground.
That's the plan, but it's not a good start, as none of the metal bowls is what you'd call stable. The addition of a downforce wing may be good in theory, but it's not so good in practice. A final pit stop sees Adam minimize the surface area exposed to the wind, and that gives cause for some hope. Until that one, too, bites the dust.
Well, little dude, I've tried every combination of bowl and cone and wing that I can imagine, and as far as I can see, everyone I'm using makes such a high profile they all just blow away in the wind, even worse than nothing. I think we gotta check this one. If you agree with me, don't do anything. I think he agrees with me.
And that means it's Jamie's turn to focus on the problem.
So our question is, how are you going to keep yourself from getting blown away in a strong wind? Obviously, if you're standing upright, it's easy to knock you over. You could start lying prone, and in this way you would present less surface area to the wind, and that's a good thing. But what if the ground is smooth and hard? You don't really have any way of digging into the ground or putting a stake on it. And that starts me thinking that maybe we can use the wind itself to give you traction.
Playing his cards close to his chest, Jamie runs a series of traction tests that don't mean much to anyone but him.
That right there was a result.
But judging by the giggling, it seems to be going well.
Kind of like a wing shape.
After a whole afternoon of dialing in the testing, Jamie's finally ready to reveal all.
After a lot of fussing around, this is what I've come up with. This thing is made of several segments. It has a wind vane on the back, and it has a pivot point and spike that grabs on the ground. Now, how this works is this. As the wind comes over it, this wedge-shaped design allows the wind to press this spike into the ground and gives us traction. It also allows that spike to serve as a pivot point that he can shift with thanks to this wind vane. Also, because of this wedge-shaped device, we have good debris deflection. And last but not least, this whole thing is extremely portable because it folds up like so and can attach to his back, and he can walk around with it.
The man's a miracle. Each of the 3 criteria addressed successfully in half an afternoon, at least in small scale.
Well, dude, I think we've got a winner there.
Time to go full scale, huh?
Absolutely.
But as the storm chasers will testify, full scale will be full on.
Stay down. It's gonna be intense, you guys. Hang on.
Twisters can be seriously dangerous. No, not those twisters. Those twisters. But to reduce that danger, at the storm chaser's request, Jamie's prototyped a personal tornado protector. And it's time to go full scale, where the first step for Jamie is to determine what to build it from.
This material is foamed polyethylene. It's a very common plastic found in things like milk jugs and shopping bags. It's very tough. It might even be debris-proof, which is why we're thinking about using it on our tornado shield. I've set up this rig which mimics this angle, and I'm going to be firing a soda can at it at hundreds of miles an hour. If this is able to deflect it and not break, then it ought to be able to handle a tornado.
That's the plan, but in a last-minute change, Jamie decides to fire a soda can made out of wood, which he figures is a more realistic tornado projectile.
Block of wood. Firing in 3, 2, 1.
The shot's right on the money,
Uh-oh.
but the polyethylene's in pieces.
Our slug of wood hit the test sample at 252 miles per hour, which is at the upper end of what you might see from a really bad tornado. That's exactly the kind of tornado that we want to be able to protect ourselves from, and this stuff didn't stand up, so we've got to beef it up.
And some 1/8-inch aluminum cut to bolt onto the front should do just that.
Test 2, reinforced with an aluminum plate. Firing in 3, 2, 1.
This time, the wood plug bounces clean off, meaning that the metal's got some metal. So now it's time to get building, where their shopping list includes polyethylene, check. Duct tape, check. 1/8-inch aluminum, check. Some ballistic nylon, check. And a Heinemann, check.
The plan is this. I'm going to be making what amounts to a low-slung, it's my baby, streamlined and very heavily armored tent. Oh yeah. Just like a tent that you would go backpacking with, this will fold up into a neat package, and then when you're ready to use it, you unfold it. Now it's starting to look serious. It's got armored panels, it's got aluminum tent poles.
Okay, everyone be quiet. It's Jamie's nap time now.
It's got a heavy-duty fabric. You crawl inside, and you're safe.
That is awesome. It looks just like what I would want it to look like if I was supposed to get into it in an emergency. It fits the part.
And for no other reason than because Adam takes his turn inside.
Into the Bat Cape, Boy Wonder. It's quite nice and comfortable in here.
It's very solid feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I could take a nap in here.
I gotta say, I think Jamie's really done it here. This thing is lightweight, it feels very protective. I think this might be just the next phase of personal tornado protection. And naps. It's great for naps.
This is the kind of stuff I really get a kick out of. First you've got a problem, then you've got an idea, then you've actually got the thing. Of course, you have to test it, which is what we're gonna do next. We're gonna fire debris at it and see if it holds up. And if it does, we might actually have something that will save some lives.
And with the addition of a spike base that will secure it into the ground,
That is what says I'm not going anywhere in a few hundred miles an hour wind.
That works.
it's ready for some testing.
It's all done.
Let's pack it up and see how debris-proof it actually is.
Okay.
And that's portability passed.
Nice.
There we go.
I love it. Our tornado protection device needs to do 3 things here. It needs to keep you from blowing away, it needs to protect you from debris, and it needs to be able to face the wind and change its direction. Today, we're testing protection from debris. Our debris will be this soda can-sized piece of wood right here, which will be fired at our device by this, Jamie's little pop gun.
That's right.
Jamie's pop gun last popped out soda cans at 250 miles an hour, with frightening results.
You killed him. You tripped all the shock watch stickers in his chest.
But this time, it's got wood.
Why are we firing these wood cylinders at our shield? Well, first off, we're fresh out of cows, and secondly, wood debris is the most likely thing that you're going to find in a tornado, and so that's what this is representing.
And representing the person in the prototype is Buster, who for once may not need to be nervous.
It's beautiful.
He's ready to try them out?
I think so.
Well, as we prepare to fire some not insignificant debris at our tornado shield, I have to say, I've got high hopes for its ability to withstand what we're going to throw at it.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Dr. Heidemann, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, debris test in 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah!
Did it hit it?
Oh, yeah. It hit it and glanced off, and it's about 600 feet that way. See some crow.
The wood plug, traveling at an F4 tornado's 200 miles per hour, was a direct hit, and the shield hardly shifted.
That handled it really well.
I didn't even see it move.
So for test 2, it's out with Buster and in with an altogether more valuable guinea pig.
Based on our test, Adam should be okay, but just in case, he's wearing a helmet, and we also have EMT Sanjay.
Do I think this will work? I better be pretty confident it'll work. I'm about to get inside of it. Am I a little scared? Yes, I am. Do I always answer my own questions? No, I do not.
With Adam in the tent, it's time to vent.
Okay, debris test, firing at Adam in 3, 2, 1.
Once again, it's a direct hit that's deflected with ease.
I feel great. That was nothing. It was like a little tap.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, as we hoped, as we expected, and as we saw, the tornado shield effectively protects its user from flying debris, even debris flying at tornado-like speeds. Now all we need is a big tornado to test out the rest of it.
It's pretty simple, really, but sometimes the best ideas are. And the fact is, it worked. Now all we need to do is find a tornado.
That shouldn't be that hard.
Tornado touching down. There it is. Here it comes.
As Reed Timmer and Sean Casey will tell, with winds reaching speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour, tornadoes are no laughing matter.
Hold on. Seatbelts. We're in the middle of it.
Which is why the MythBusters are here to help.
Let's recap. The storm chasers have these amazing vehicles to protect them from tornadoes, but nothing if they get caught outside the vehicles. Jamie and I have designed what we think is a viable tornado shield to protect a human outside of one of these vehicles, and we've come back to Kalita Air to fire up their 747 and test it out.
So you ready to see the tornado shield?
For sure. You transport it with a backpack, too. That's incredible.
So you're going on a hike with your backpack, you see a tornado coming. You can't get out of the way, so you deploy this.
That's exactly right. And that's pretty much it.
Well, sure looks cool.
So far, storm chasers Reed and Sean are impressed. And they should be, because the rig's 2 for 0. But now comes the ultimate test. Well, not quite now.
Before we test our tornado shield, we need something to compare it to. That's called a control, and that control is called Adam Savage. I'm going to stand here directly in the wind stream until I can't stand no more, and that will be the point at which we test the tornado shield.
In other words, to be a viable system, Jamie in the shield has to withstand more wind than a person without a shield.
I am ready!
And to find that level, Adam's staring down the barrel.
How am I feeling? I have to admit I'm a little nervous. I know the safety system we have in place, but it's not every day you stand behind a freaking jet! However, I can step out of the wind stream of the jet's engine at any time, and they can cut it in a moment's notice or a second's notice, so I guess there's nothing to do but proceed.
Adam is clipped into a safety harness, and he has established some hand signals with Jamie.
So I put one hand up, and that means increase the power.
Exactly.
Waving around means get me the hell out of here.
Exactly.
Awesome.
But even so, this is downright dangerous.
It's time for Adam to go into the tornado.
He's a brave man.
Okay, fire that puppy up.
For safety, the pilot starts the thrust at just 20%, which allows Adam to heave himself to his start point. Once there, the pilot ramps up the thrust. 30% is 100 miles per hour for our fearless MythBuster. 40%, 110. 50%, 120, and he's still holding. But when the wind hits 130, he gets a knockdown blow. Like a feather in front of a fan, Adam stood no chance.
How
you doing?
I'm good. That was awesome. There were a lot of things to worry about in that one. Chief among them, debris flying towards me. But I found, being able to see where the wind was coming from, that I could actually dodge things that were heading towards me. That was crazy, crazy, crazy fun. I want to do it again. I really do, but I don't think we need me to do it again.
Afraid not, Adam, because we've got the data. 130 miles an hour, and you're flying without wings.
Without any protection, Adam lost control at about 130 miles an hour. Now it's time to test the tornado shield. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm going for 180.
I'm standing on the spot where I withstood winds of 130 miles per hour before I got blown away. The question is, will the tornado shield allow Jamie to stay here at a higher wind speed? We have the ability to make the wind speed here up to 180 miles per hour. The perfect place to test.
And Jamie, as usual, seems somewhat nonchalant, despite the very real danger.
The thing about going behind airplanes like this in prototypes, it's dangerous. We don't know what this is going to do. I believe I'm going to be all right. Just the very fact that I'm down on the ground low and I've got some protection, I think it'll be good.
And remarkably, that's confidence that the storm chasers agree with.
I'm really impressed by this. It's low to the ground, it's aerodynamic, no wind to go underneath. I give it a 100% chance of survival.
I have two predictions as to how this test is going to go. I think absolutely that the tornado shield will allow Jamie to stay here at wind speeds higher than 130. I'm guessing maybe 150, actually, which is a pretty significant difference. I'm also predicting that Jamie takes the thing home to take naps in. Look at how comfortable he is in it.
I'm in.
Well, there's no time like the present to find out.
All right, here's the first test of the human tornado shield. Go ahead and start the engines.
I can hear the engines going up. We're all good.
Like last time, the pilot ups the thrust in increments.
There comes the wind.
Yeah, now he feels it.
One design flaw of the shield is that Jamie cannot see out of it. You can only imagine how terrifying it must be as the pilot ups the ante.
The tail end of this thing is whipping around a little bit, but feels okay.
The shield holds up well as the wind creeps beyond 130. But suddenly, things take a turn for the worse. The suit tears away, and Jamie is left vulnerably exposed. The pilot cuts the engine almost immediately, but like some sort of cyborg, Jamie survived intact.
How you doing?
I was fine. The tornado shield wasn't. It just like all the...
As the wind hit 135, the suit went AWOL. But the pilot cut the engines before any real harm was done.
The weird thing is that you're in there in the dark. That's something that we need to rectify because that right there is enough to freak you out. Once the wind started going, I was fine. The problem comes when things start to flap a lot. And at that point, it started to kind of move around to where it actually moved away from me.
But once Jamie collects the shield from the other end of the airport,
It's still all there. Looks like a pin fell out.
it seems all is not lost.
Moments ago behind me, what happened was the tornado shield's top separated from its bottom, effectively delaminated, exposing the creamy center that is James Heinemann. Jamie is going to make some modifications. He's going to get right back on that horse and get in front of that jet. That's the spirit. I'm standing in the main deck of the 747 cargo plane, not for anything to do with the story, but just because it's so freaking cool. This is one of my favorite parts about this job, is getting to look around the corners and see some of this stuff while we're working on other things. All right, now back to your regularly scheduled program.
It's getting stronger.
Being outside during a tornado is a potentially lethal idea, something Jamie's just confirmed. His tornado shield was looking promising until at just over 130 miles an hour, it blew it. But Jamie's not giving up without a fight.
This was the problem. These things right here, I made pivots so that the whole thing could fold up neatly. They're what actually holds the whole thing to the ground. Because they pivoted, they were allowed to move and they let go of the actual shield. So we're going to actually bolt them in place and bolt them to the shield. They won't let go this time, and I think I'll stay in place.
So Jamie's getting back in the saddle, and he's more optimistic than ever.
Yep.
But having seen the last test's failure, the storm chasers aren't convinced.
When we chase tornadoes and go into them, we're in 14,000-pound armored vehicles.
We're getting into it.
I mean, what we do is on the verge of insanity. What Jamie is doing is just plain crazy.
All right, there it is. Good luck. There he goes, one of God's own prototypes.
Once more, Jamie suits up directly behind the warming up engines of the 747.
Are you all right?
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back by popular demand, it's Jamie Heinemann in Tornado Shield 2, the Back to the Drawing Board Tour. Jamie, take it away.
Still standing by.
All right, start those engines. Jamie sounds really impatient in there. He's like, I'm still standing by, as if we've, like, forgotten about him. Okay. Here it is.
Sound the exhaust. Here we go. It's getting scary.
At 110 miles an hour, Jamie's finding it a breeze.
All good. Stuck as a buck.
So the wind speeds increased to 130.
That's picking up a little bit. Still good.
He's now experiencing 130.
I'm still fine. It's getting like hell in here, though.
With the suit holding up, the pilot puts the pedal to the metal, increasing the speed to 180. Jamie and the suit are clinging on for dear life, but that seems to be working.
That's 180 miles per hour. I'm cutting it. All right, cut it.
Incredibly, Jamie and his suit successfully survived an F4 tornado. It's absolutely mission accomplished.
He withstood 180 miles per hour.
What was he saying? Is it pretty loud in there?
I could barely hear him. He's like, oh, this is intense. Oh, I'm feeling it now. Let's go talk to him.
That's just flat out terrifying. There's absolutely nothing you can do with that kind of power, except hold on and hope that the rig holds, and by golly, it held.
It held.
It held. I was waiting for the claw to what's going to let go, but nothing did. I was getting beaten by the surface of this thing.
Wow.
It's like being spanked.
Okay. Nice work.
The high speed shows just how intense that was. With ice chunks hitting and a 180-mile-an-hour wind, the prototype rocked.
I gotta say, when we first started talking about the Tornado Shield, we went through a lot of design ideas, but I didn't think that any of them would have withstood what I saw here. Nothing prepared me for how devastating that wind was, and our Tornado Shield, with only one modification, held its ground in 180-mile-per-hour winds with nothing holding it down except some spikes, keeping it from sliding. That is amazing.
Jamie did great. The first test he did, he failed. Miserable. But he did alterations, and in the end, he came through with flying colors.
I don't know that everybody in the tornado belt is going to want to carry one of these things around, but we saw what happened to an unprotected person. We saw what happened to a car. And the simple fact is that if you had one of these and you got in it in a tornado, you'd be safe.
Well, you guys wanted a tornado, and we brought a tornado.
And you've got a new piece of hardware for your kit.
Man, I can't believe you did that.
It's going to be a great tornado season.